I believe it. And we are wait, hold on. All right, we'll start over. 5, 4, 3, and we're live. Welcome, one and all, and your brother's ex-cousin's wife, all here to join on the No Faces comic chat. With me, as always, we have our good buddy Roger. Say, hey, greetings, everyone.
Greetings, everyone. I forgot the hey. Hey, greetings, everyone. How's that?
I appreciate the hay. I need the hay. Yeah. More hay in my life.
I think you do. Yeah. Hay
and
good thing. Yeah.
With us for the first time, making his No Faces chat appearance. I don't really know if you could say that. For the first time, we have BUB'S Comics. Hey, hello, everybody. How's it going? Good to see you all. Wait, no, that's not right. With us, we have Super Russ 9000. Welcome.
Hey, guys, what's going on? Appreciate you having me on the show tonight.
Yeah. Well, we're sure it's going to be great, but I'll tell you tomorrow. And we have, look at that wall of pops. Mike, let's look at that again. Holy moly.
That's just a few of them.
That's either impressive or depressive. I can't tell.
A little bit of both.
That's a lot of pops. You used to have
pretty impressive.
You used to have a lot more, didn't you?
Yeah, I was pushing close to 200, and I gave around 70 of them to my nephew because he wanted to get started in the game, and I needed to make some space. So I cut my collection down a good bit.
Wow.
Cool.
I mean, I know that what my first introduction to you and your channel was through Pops.
Yeah, I started as a Pop channel.
Yep. So, and it was pretty solid at that point. And then you kind of made the switch to comics, and it's been okay since.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob.
just barely survived the transition.
Yeah.
Bob is such an encouraging force, isn't he, in this community? Just, always there, just pushing us across the line, no matter what, no matter our tongue may be hanging out, and Bub's there pulling us along.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Well, is anybody, I tell you, Roger, I know that you're itching to shout out all the fine folks in our chat, but before we do that, why don't you go ahead and have Russ tell us what the name of our team is tonight? Russ, are you there?
Well, oh, yeah. What's up?
What's up, bud?
I had a Comigori's flashback. I zoned out.
that moment will live in internet infamy. I tell you, everybody remembers that one. Oh wow.
Well, what's the name of our
evil Aunt May's?
Very well.
There you go. I knew my buddy would come through.
I wasn't too sure. It was
It just took an extra 30 seconds. That's all. I needed that timer extended.
Yeah, for real. I think actually we were going up against each other that day.
Yeah.
I feel like twice, right? You missed the timer on that. For those of you,
the timer twice.
I blame Bub. I blame Bub because he is the one. Notice guys, right? Who was the catalyst in both those events?
I don't mind.
Not barbed wire, but another B, Bub.
Oh, Bub wire.
Yeah. So Bub wire. Yeah, that's barbed wire's underling, Bub wire.
Oh my.
Well, I better be careful of what I say there because people take things out of context.
Nothing like a good underling. Yeah, we like that. Well, Roger, do you know what? Well, before we get to our big topic, which I'm sure no one understood, let's get to the old chatteroo there. As usual, I'll do the first chat announcements, but never mind. Go ahead, Roger. Start it off.
All right, Bub and Russ. Okay, as usual, we got in here the best chat around, right? We got a couple of tailgaters that were here right before the game even started.
I thought I smelled something.
hot dogs, burgers, who knows what it was. Unruly Simeon, I guess, again, one of the greatest supporters of the community. He is everywhere. He is, ubiquitous, honestly. Scott Neely, my buddy. This guy is just, he's taking advantage, I think, of the Corona thing, and he is just buying up all kinds of stuff to fill in gaps. He's got this Metal Men figures I am so jealous about. Welcome, Scott. Great to see you here. Rob Boswell, another guy who's just at every chat. It's like literally every chat, he's there. I mean, it's amazing. It's almost like a genie appearing.
I just can't figure out why he's always touching his mouth with his finger.
Oh, that's the smart thing.
Very confusing.
And then one of your favorites, Bub. Let me see if I can say it the way you say it. Bigglesworth. Doug is in the chat here, and of course, Kavi. God bless you, buddy, over there in New York City, and thank God he's doing okay.
Yeah.
Comic Mag Musings, Bill. Again, this guy is also another guy. He's putting up videos like constantly. He's got
way to go, Bill.
And he had this. If you haven't seen his video where he quizzes his son on DC characters, it is a must-see thing. It is hilarious. Then we got, of course, your favorite butter melting man himself, Mike, Knights of Old.
There it is.
There it is.
He's so smooth. It's like watching butter melt.
Oh, it's so smooth. And he's got a collection that melts my it melts my ego.
It's a family show, Roger. Fun. Take it easy.
Okay, sorry. I had heart palpitations for a minute there. Jackson Roy Kirk, again, one of the most knowledgeable guys here. Really, really great supporter of all of us. Broke Cuz of Comics. He just had a video that dropped. Was it today? Yesterday? Let's see who else. Crazy Guy Comic Song, too crazy. He's also picking up some really good stuff as of late. And of course, we have Ranger Sly, who just put up his 3rd video, and one of my favorite guys on this planet.
What? Sly has videos out?
Area 51. Yeah, he's got 3. I think they are all A-OK, reveal videos, but he promises that he is working on a video of his own. So
does he speak?
Of course he speaks.
Well, I didn't know.
Of course he does.
Well, Pages Films in Plastic. There's a guy who does videos, and I don't know what he sounds like. He doesn't speak.
Well, I'm sure he speaks, just not in his videos.
All right, then. Does Sly speak in the video?
Yes, he does.
All right.
He speaks.
We got that all cleared up.
He's got
all right, I'll take it over from here, Roger. We got Mike, Area 51.
Hey!
I tell you.
I'm almost finished here. We got Werewolf by Lunchtime all the way from Australia. Again, just a loyal listener here. And who else do we got? Perry Comics lurking in here. Perry Comics is tearing it up on the internet, as everybody knows. He's seen movies that I saw 30 years ago, brand new, and people are enthralled by it. That's all I can say.
Let me say something about Perry. I just, people give him a lot of flack for what this, for his thumbnails and his, oh my gosh, thumbnails, and for watching videos, and a lot of the comic community gives him a lot of flack. But I think it's all in jest and in good humor, overall, mostly. And I just want to say, that, although I have never watched any of those videos, I'm glad he's making them, and I'm glad he's having a good time. And anytime he shows comic stuff, I'm in there. And I think he's thinking about starting up a second channel where he does more of the lurking type stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm a Perry supporter. And one of the things that I just feel like the rest of the world woke up to something I was already enjoying, because I found Perry's videos when he was first doing the lurking. That was the first time that I saw him, and he didn't have that many followers at that time, or people watching for that matter. It was very intimate, if you will. And I liked watching it because I enjoyed his reaction to YouTube videos. So the reaction videos that he does to trailers and to movies and to TV shows, those are just an extension of the thing that I first was interested in his channel for to begin with. So that's all I'm saying is I appreciate his content. I think it's still all pretty much in the same vein. And it's my favorite version of Perry is when he's watching something and he's basically befuddled and amazed by it. So I'm enjoying that.
And what I really like about it is it's not an act.
No, I think he really is that confused in general.
I think he is, yeah, and that's what, and I think it's genius. Honestly,
yes,
I think
it's genuine stuff, and it's right? Genius. Yeah, I'm with you.
It's right because I see it. I am just I've seen this umpteen times. I'm not going to react in any kind of relevant fashion that anybody's going to want to watch. But when it's parrying, you see his eyes go aglaze. It's somehow compelling. So that's all I can say.
Yeah, we won't say where that glaze comes from. Back to the chat. We got broke because of comics talking to Bill over there. No, go ahead.
You're always trying to steal my thunder on.
Hey, he was the winner of my big corn test there.
Yeah,
that's right. He's got the. Oh, I forgot to send you guys the tracking numbers, but I sent out Chris's stuff on Saturday, and also Kenneth broke. Nice cover, bro. I sent his stuff out Saturday as well. So they'll probably end up getting it tomorrow, and they never even got a tracking number from me. So sorry, guys.
Yeah, look, Rob Boswell, look what you've made this poor man say here. I guess I'm going to have to mirror image my avatar so you can see my cigar. See the trauma that you bring to these people, Bub?
All right,
are you ashamed of yourself?
Oh, good grief.
We also got John's Comics with Kids, one of my favorite people on the planet, also right here.
Well, it's a good thing he's not an astronaut, or he might fall out of favor.
Yeah, well, doing the technicalities. Grow up someday. We have William Smallwood. Welcome, great to have you here. And I think, Bub, that I have exhausted the members of the chat, at least up to this point in time.
Well, I can tell you for sure after listening to you talk for the last 5 minutes, I'm exhausted. So,
boy, I set myself up for that one, didn't I? Oh, yeah. Boy.
That's why you're a staple of this show, Roger. Yeah. You're just too good at what you do.
It's better than the spine roll, I suppose, of the show.
Oh, now I feel like we've neglected poor Russ. He's just been sitting over there waiting for his cue. All right, Russ, it's your turn to talk.
Okay. You read any good human fly lately, Roger?
Oh man, you guys are killing me today. Oh, it's a team up job. I see how it is. Okay, yeah. I see how it is, Russ. Russ, I'm very shocked. I would appalled at your behavior. How dare you actually take money from Bub to slander me on this show? Blackmail, I say, blackmail. I know my buddy Russ would never do this without a financial incentive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, fun stuff. So let's get to the Demdare 2-pack at hand. That's not 2-pack Shakur, but we are going to get to the topic for sure. We have the No Face Counter Chat with the Evil Aunt Maze. And tonight, I'll just go ahead and explain what the topic is, because I'm sure that when Roger got this and actually read the email, if he did at all, which often he does not, and perused the topic just ever so briefly. But the point is, there are lots of heroes and villains out there that start out as a hero or a villain and then change sides. And some of them habitually change sides back and forth, right? Being good or bad, depending on what's going on, depending on the issue, depending on the series even. And so I want us to kind of go through some characters, and there's no right or wrong answer unless you don't agree with me, then obviously you're wrong. But other than that, there's really no right or wrong answer. It's just your feelings on whether you think this character should have potentially remained in their original side, or if you prefer them in their revised side. So that's what we're going to talk about. So I'll start it off and throw up two right off the bat to show you where my mind's at. Here's the first Silver Age appearance of Catwoman. And to me, I like Catwoman as a villain. I think it's okay when Batman kind of, plays with her ball of yarn every now and then. But for the most part, I think she's better as a villain. And even when Batman's sweet on her, she should always stay a villain. I like that better. Although I like the Catwoman Volume 2 series by Jim Balent an awful lot. If you read that one, she really stays pretty much in the villain vein. and she has adventures and misadventures, but it's because she's crazy. So that's all good. But here's one, right? So Rogue, that's first appearance. That's King Size Annual, the Avengers King Size Annual number 10. And that's the first appearance of Rogue. And she starts out as a villain. And I think she's much better as a hero than a villain. So that's where my mind's at. There's just a couple there. Did it change? Nope, it's still the same. Sorry. I hope that's a finger. All right, Roger, what do you think? What do you got?
Well, I didn't read a whole lot of that Catwoman series, but I always thought her more in the. She's not really a villain, I mean, at least in the later iterations, she's more of like an anti-hero or anti-villain even, because she's not really evil. I mean, to me, a villain has to be vile, VIL, vile, derivative of evil, right? So I wouldn't call her. I know what you're talking about. I like her when she's bad, if that makes any sense, right?
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I like it when she's bad. Because even in her heroic stints where she's doing the right thing, she still does it the wrong way. Like,
that's right. That's right. And that's what makes her, I think, very interesting.
Yes.
Because she's, not most of us, I don't want to say everybody, but most of us, we're not totally, our moral compass is not, aligned with, the universe or whatever you may want to say it is, right? I mean, we have ebbs and flows in our morality sometimes, and sometimes it seems to us doing the right thing, but then later on you feel a little bit of guilt or something. You're like, maybe that wasn't, maybe if you don't do it even purposefully, but I mean, that's just the way it turns out. And to her, she's more of a thief. More of a nuisance kind of character, but in that realm, she's very compelling, I thought. So good choice as far as that goes.
Yeah, well, that was great. Thanks, Roger. All right.
Yeah, hey,
what happened?
Hey,
I thought I heard you say Catwoman. What else? Do you want?
I'm just adding to your very, very well thought out character. That's all. I'm just adding to it. Okay.
Go ahead. We're paying attention.
All right. Now, again, when evil Aunt May, okay, that's talk about an extreme example, right? I mean, Aunt May, the spinster, the doting aunt of Peter Parker would never be evil, right? Never. It's just if it's ever happened, I haven't read it, okay, but that would be just beyond the pale. But like, for example, I do like that villains have consistency or heroes have consistency, right? Like, I can't see, and I think Russ would agree with me on this one, I can't see Captain America ever going over to the dark side, okay? There was one storyline, and I think
you're about to hear it. They're going to go off on you.
Yeah.
I think it was called Streets of Poison, where he inadvertently got high or took a drug.
Are you kidding me? Are you not talking about Secret Empire?
Oh, hold on a second. That's another thing. But he wasn't bad there. He wasn't bad there. That's a more of a political. The writer Englehart, I think, was making a political statement at the time about Nixon and so forth. But but the character himself, how his morality has always been very high. Now the lines are blurred as far as what America's morals are, right? It's very, very up in the air, very controversial now. So, but Captain America himself has always had a very high standard for everybody, regardless of their beliefs, regardless of their innate characteristics. He's always had a very high moral standard for others. Okay, and to take somebody's life, it would have to be an extreme and no other option kind of situation for him to do that. So, so as I was saying, that Streets of Poison, when he became a little more like violent, although I don't think he didn't kill anybody, but he really trashed a lot of people. I mean, he really beat up a lot of people, severely, more than was, called for. That kind of upset me at the time, because Captain America is, an ideal that I look up to. So I think that Captain America should always be, above reproach and not somebody that is severely morally compromised.
Okay, that's fair. And I like that too. In fact, when it came to the movies, I didn't like the dark turn that Captain America took for about a movie or so there, where he was ostracized and growing his beard and all hateful acting. I didn't care for that at all. I'm glad that
right.
moved on pretty quickly because I didn't like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you got for us, Russ? There, Russ, Super Russ 90. Oh, wait, I'm missing 2 zeros. Super Russ 90. What you got?
Just ignore him, Russ. Go. Just ignore him.
Hell Hydra.
No, I do not want to go there. I do not want to go there.
Good old Cap.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good one.
There you go.
That Secret Empire story, if we're talking about Cap, that Secret Empire story, when I first heard about what they were doing, that was like, I think the first time I remember being like legitimately upset by a comic book storyline other than anything Tom King does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another hot take.
Yeah. It seems like King just likes to do a lot of he likes to stir up controversy. That seems to be his. I've only read a few of his things, so I mean I can't say that's for sure, but it seems to be his MO mostly. Well,
Russ, you got a character that you'd like to highlight or talk about that you like better as good and or bad? Well, I guess not good or bad.
Are we talking just Marvel or DC too?
Well, we're talking indies too. Whatever. If you want to enlighten us some on that, anything you'd like.
Whatever.
Well,
imagine Bub as a hero. I know it's far fetched, but
everything but My Little Pony is pretty much fair game.
Yeah,
you got to draw the line somewhere, and I stick with unicorn horns.
Have you guys read or played the Injustice series where Superman becomes evil?
Yes,
I have.
I thought that was a really interesting storyline. I didn't, growing up, I didn't think that's something they would ever do with Superman. And when the games hit and then the books hit, I actually liked that, seeing both sides. I thought it gave the character much more to do. I enjoyed seeing the evil side to Superman, what he could do with all that power. I just thought that was a really interesting take, seeing both sides of him.
That's pretty scary, if you ask me. That's pretty scary. I mean, I do have I have the first game, the original Injustice, on 360, I do believe. I'm old.
I know. I used to enjoy too the episodes of Smallville where they had the Red Kryptonite storylines.
I did like that.
Yep.
For some reason, just the evil version of Superman, I just dig that.
And they did that in the movies too. Yeah, that's right. I was just going to say that's what Superman 3, I think, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I know where you're coming from, Russ, and I think it's interesting only because, man, I mean, an evil Superman is like our worst nightmare, really. I mean, when you think about it, because he would be next to unstoppable. I mean, I know Batman has the kryptonite or whatever hidden away somewhere, but honestly, if super, he'd never even get near Superman.
I would say though the most evil that I've ever seen Superman was in the Justice League movie with the CGI'd lips. That was top of the line, grade A evil right there.
Now look at this. John's Comic Book says Bucky Barnes and Hulk come to mind. See, now there's a good one. Now I don't know much about Bucky other than I know he was a sidekick early on, but I don't know much about his transition into the Winter Soldier. But there's a really good example of someone who started out obviously on the good side, then was transformed into being bad, and then became good again. But I think what's interesting about that one is that he was changed purposefully, and I'm okay with that. Does that make sense? Like if somebody has mind control powers or somebody brainwashes somebody else, in this case, you're talking about the red Krypton, and stuff like that. You know, I think when someone is affected, when a hero is affected or infected necessarily, then that works for me. Like, I'm good with that. But it's when they just are the same character, but then all of a sudden just now they're good or now they're bad. That drives me nuts.
Well, yeah, that's true, and that's what happened to Sandman. I know you've read that Marvel 2-in-1, right, Bub?
Where, where they're at the bar, him
at the bar, yeah. Although his transition, Sandman really has always had, or at least they've sort of planted soft sides of his character before, because in Marvel 2-in-1, Marvel Team Up #1, he actually risked getting caught to bring his mother a Christmas gift. Yeah. So again, he's evil, yeah, but he's got a few good traits about him. So he's not just pure evil. He's not like Darkseid or or I guess the Joker could be considered one of those. You just don't unpredictable. But he was transitioned and went to the Avengers at one point, and then again, like you said, then he became bad again.
Well, maybe we should make a distinction between bad and evil, because Magneto is a bad guy.
Yeah.
But I never really found him evil.
Yeah.
Even though he's the leader of who? The
evil mutants. Yeah. but that's a misnomer. I mean, because to me, that I made a video on this where there was a contest entry, and it's a very complicated classification when you consider somebody evil. To me, if you're walking down the street and you just randomly kill a guy for no reason, that's evil personified, right? I mean, that's selfish. It's totally uncalled for. But Magneto, he has a what he considers, right, a very lofty and very appropriate goal, and that is essentially having protection of his particular people, which are the Homo superior. I think Homo superior.
Take it easy, Roger.
Mutants, right? Mutants. I think that's what they're classified. Homo superior.
Okay.
So yeah, he's not going to walk down the street and just off a guy for no reason. Now, if he's attacked or whatever, he's going to react violently. But if you just leave him alone, you should be okay.
That makes sense, and I like that. I think that there needs to be a distinction there, because it's the hardest thing when the ones that are almost pure evil turn. I tell you, here's an example for me, since it's my turn in a place where we don't take turns. Mm-hmm. What about that one? First appearance of Venom, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hate Venom as a good guy. I think he's one of the best evil villains out of pure, he's an alien. When he infects a good person, he brings out the bad in them. I mean, I felt like the actual symbiote was inherently evil and was an agent of corruption in even good people. What could be more evil than that, right? And so to then take him and make him some sort of anti-hero, or he's really a misunderstood good guy, it doesn't work for me on any level. I like him as a bad guy, and I want him to stay there.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little bit more complex. I mean, you're right. When he first started, like I remember when he in Darkhawk, he made a few crossovers in Darkhawk, and essentially that was what he did there was fairly evil. But he has a sort of code, it's just a little bit of a pinprick of goodness in him, But yeah, I see what you're saying, and I agree. I think because of his look and because of his particular power set and because of his motivation, at least initially, to whoever he bonds with sort of augments who they are. That has a lot of potential for having some really good storylines versus some good heroes. So I agree with you overall, but I think they wanted to, I guess, because he was so popular, it's hard to make a villain highly popular, I suppose. So it's easier to give him some kind of aspect of heroism to
a redeeming quality of some
conflict.
sort.
Yeah.
He had a WWE face turn because he got too popular.
Yeah, exactly. They go from hero to heel just because they build up such a huge fan base, and then they cannot supply that fan base infinitely, so they have to pivot. There's a good one. The Joker is evil, and yet there's an example of how someone can just be evil, and there's really no redeeming qualities to the Joker. I mean, the only redeeming quality is that maybe you understand why he does what he does because he's evil, or maybe you feel like, there's some sort of honor in his evil, but I don't think so. He's just evil.
You see what Kenny said?
DC's probably going to do a redemption story now.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah.
Oh, Kenny. Oh, Comic Cat 84. Bub's always reminded me of a cruel old white woman. Well, I don't know what kind of bars he goes to, but I think you should readjust your social patterns there, Kenny. If the white ladies you're meeting look anything like me, you're going to the wrong bar. Hey, on our old friends here. We should shout out. Look, we got lots of great people that have joined us. We got Steve at I Love Disney and Comics. We got Deadpool 2323. I agree. Carnage is pure evil.
Yeah, that's a good one. Aaron, that's a good one. Yeah,
but to me, that was more of a symbiote finding someone pure evil and working out. Because he was already evil before he had Carnage.
Yeah.
Match.com.
That's right. We got Comic Cat 84. I don't know really why he's here, but go ahead and somebody must have let him in the back door. Somebody tell Kenny there's a $5 cover charge via Super Chat for everyone in here. He must have missed the memo. We got Jimmy the Geek. Jimmy the Geek. Oh, he seems like an old gangster name, doesn't it? Oh, Jimmy the Geek.
That was a tout on the NFL show way back in the 70s. Jimmy the Greek. Yes,
Jimmy the Greek.
Yeah.
And whenever I think of they call me the Breeze by Leonard Skinner, like when I hear that now, I think they call me the Geek. So, but that's not right. Jackson Roy Kirk's in the house. Let's see. Scott's still here. Hey, C. Wood's in the house. Welcome, Carson. Good to have you. And we have Unruly, of course, still here. We got John still here. We got lots of people still here. I'm still here. What? That must be my second account that I used to vote for myself in Comigories in the Hunt. We got Pope Cerebus the First. We got
Hey Pope, how you doing, buddy?
I think Mike was in here earlier. Area 51 Mike. I don't know if we mentioned him. I've been chatting with him a bunch today, so that's been fun. So thank you all for joining in with us on this fine Monday late evening / early afternoon / whatever you want to say. Roger is up next with another great choice. Go ahead, Roger. Let's
actually highlight what C. Woodard says here, because this is pretty much exactly what I was going to be saying.
All right, so then we don't have to listen to Roger. We can just read.
Listen to C. Wood. Yeah, much smarter man than I am.
No,
but I agree. I mean, Lex Luthor. If you've read the Heroes for Hope, I think it's called. Where they, Lex Luthor is the only one who has the, not the cure, but a way to be able to bring out crops in the desert, and so he the only reason he did it was because Superman couldn't, so
right.
Yeah, so but again, he could be an incredible asset, but it's exactly what Seawood says there. His jealousy and his resentment of Superman is what drives him. But I think that particular kind of characteristics makes that relationship fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Because you have one that has just really can do anything, can think up anything, a genius on all kinds of scientific levels, and another man who was born with these abilities, and Luthor can't stand that there's somebody better at something than he is,
Yeah.
So I think that is Seawood, I think you're a genius, buddy, because I think that is a perfect kind of dichotomy of how this villain works, right? That he wasn't born evil, perhaps, but his pride and his ambition just drove him over the edge, and then he had somebody as a rival, and that's important. If you don't have a rival, if you don't have somebody to an antithesis, it doesn't really work. It doesn't have the dynamics necessary for that to be a great villain and a great hero.
Well, one of the things that I've always enjoyed about Superman, and Russ is a big Supes fan, so it's good to have him here on this conversation. But one of the things that I've always enjoyed about Superman is that for all the things that he has and all the abilities that he has, they're almost all completely physical. And so that's why I like Lex as, as his arch nemesis, because Lex really didn't have any physical attributes. They're all just mental. So, and Superman, for whatever else he is not the smartest guy on the planet. So he's just, to me, an average person or less even. He tends to get tricked pretty easily. He's kind of a little bit, or at least early on, was more naive, So
yeah. Early on, he was. I mean, later on, he gained experience, and I think now he has good critical thinking skills, but not a lot of scientific and those kinds of higher as far as application of things.
Yeah, he's not a mastermind by any
not
stretch.
A mastermind, right. I think he's a good critical thinker. Because of his experience. I mean, he's seen it all. So I mean, he learns from the past, and you can't do the same. You can't get him the same way twice. So.
Yeah, I'm with you. What do you think, Russ?
There's Luther.
Wake up, Russ.
Since we're on the
Wake up, Russ.
Since we're on the Superman subject, I got to bring up Doomsday. That's just the ultimate villain with absolutely no redeeming qualities whatsoever. He started a villain and he stayed a villain. He's just pure destruction, 100%. That's his only goal, to kill. So I think that was a great choice when they created Doomsday, to make him this like non-thinking, just destruction machine with no redeeming arc. I think it would have been incredibly dumb to try to like Professor Hulk Doomsday or something.
Oh man, don't even get me started on that crap. I can't stand.
Give the beast a brain.
I can't stand Professor Hulk.
Really?
I mean, here's what
the movie or the comics, or just
both. Both.
Concept.
That's why, when they made the Amadeus Cho Incredible Hulk, or whatever, the totally awesome Hulk, I think he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they made him, that to me was the full genesis of that Professor Hulk crap. Just a wise cracking, super smart with no real reason. Unless he's a mutant, he has no reason to be that smart, that young and that smart, and has the Hulk powers. It's just ridiculous. The whole reason that I like the Hulk dumb is because he already has all that brute strength and anger fuels his power. And I think if you were going to be someone who is fueled by anger, I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, but you're probably not that of an intelligent person. If you let all your anger determine your every move, then probably you're not a real cerebral fellow, So it works to me to have the Hulk be kind of stupid, at least while he's the Hulk. And it has that nice play off of how Bruce Banner is. That's why they don't get along, because Bruce Banner is intelligent and thoughtful, and the Hulk isn't. And I think that's why it works, But you start when they merged them together, and you had a smart Hulk. I never cared for that. The only version of a smart Hulk that I liked wasn't necessarily good, and that was the Gray Hulk, right? Joe Fixit.
Joe Fixit.
Yeah,
I like Joe Fixit because
he was a bouncer.
He was a bouncer, and he's still very much everything Bruce Banner was not.
Yep.
So I like that version, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think the Hulk is one of those characters that his his whole personality has changed so much, so many times, and so deeply. I mean, he went from essentially turning the Hulk, turning into the Hulk at night and being kind of strong, to being absolutely just now invincible, immortal. And, you know, like you said, sometimes he had Bruce Banner's brain, sometimes he had no brain, sometimes he had a child's brain, sometimes he had a smart Alex disposition. It's just been the full gamut. I mean, the Hulk is just, that's a guy that's hard to pick, to sort of categorize, because he's definitely had like anti-villain times, and he's had heroic times, and he's had even villain times. So boy, they have really.
I know it's cliche. This is one of my favorite things to remind people about the Hulk. Yeah, everyone's favorite issue, give or take, right? A lot of hyperbole there, but you got Hulk 180, Hulk 181, Hulk 182, right? You got that whole introduction of Wolverine. For a sizable portion of the story, Hulk is sleeping in a cave because he ate poison soup that someone provided to him. For a good portion of that story, he's sleeping in a cave, drugged on poison soup. When he wakes up, his first words are, "I wonder where that nice lady is. Maybe she's going to get me some more soup."
Soup. Yep.
Like, what the hell?
Yep.
To get from that,
I've never,
to, Professor Hulk is just you're way on the other side of the spectrum. It's unnecessary. That's all.
I've got the facsimile, but I've never actually read it.
Yeah, well, it's a fun read.
You should read it. You should read it. It is fun, but again, you're right, and then the Hulk. There's a bunch of tropes that go with the Hulk. Like the only way he's ever defeated is by gas or by being trapped in some kind of underwater or something. I mean, it's on and on and on. Like in that same story arc, the one time they defeat him is through the vapors that the wind blew. Towards him. Really some really dicey kind of methods that they have to, because they made him so powerful that you have to find these kind of odd methods of stopping him. Even Wolverine really couldn't do much to him, because at that point. But that is a character. It's really good for this topic, because it's like he's been like on a roller coaster. He's been everywhere. I mean, they've tried to make him heroic, in that vein when he was, microcephalic or childlike. Yeah. But honestly, he just sort of happenstance defeated people because they messed with him. He didn't really do anything to search them out. You know what I mean?
Or got in the way of something else he wanted,
Yeah. Or they, exactly. Yeah. We got K Titus in here from Japan. How you doing?
Titus.
Arigato.
All right, good to have everybody here. And let's see. Seawood brings up another good villain. Just talking about the Kingpin. They never really made him good either. But, everybody in the X-Men right now is a good guy. Apocalypse is good. And
Apocalypse, they made him good?
Yes, they made Apocalypse. It's like one of the saviors.
Come on.
He's good. Mr. Sinister.
Hold on a second. Read that name again. What was that name again?
Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister's a good guy.
Well, I don't know if he's necessarily good, but they got everybody playing on the same team over there.
The current X-Men run, I stopped reading after issue 3.
It's unbearable for me, but I know I'm over. I make my thoughts on that book known often, so I'll spare you guys. I think that another one that I think this was media flipped, but what about Mystique? Like, I can't think of a comic where Mystique was anything other than bad. Even for a moment, she was good, and then she would show her true, colors, if you will, at being bad. So Mystique for the X-Men has always been bad, and yet because of the popularity of an actress, the movies completely changed her character into a good person and just completely ignore the first 3 movies. And we'll just say she's good and always been good. It's just weird.
Yeah. You're right. It's certainly, if you read what she was up to in Ms. Marvel, I mean, it was bad stuff. She put down quite a few people there. But again, popularity. Again, we're talking now about what's happening in the comic book industry and how the turmoil that's there. They're doing everything they can to essentially stay afloat. And if they see a character like Harley Quinn, right?
Yeah.
But isn't that sort of another? She was really sort of bad. Well, I don't know. She was really cartoonish, I guess, at first. But
yeah, I had that on my list.
Oh, you did? All right. Yep. So it's really tough to make a villain, sell on their own. So you have to do something. You have to keep the character traits and change the goals or the methods. And there you go. That Mystique, Harley Quinn, all these other characters that we're talking about, that are, Venom is a really good example of that. If they're popular, they get flipped because then they sell.
Absolutely. I agree. We got Simon R in the chat. Welcome. We got Don Dizzle joined us. We've got Comics with Beal. Well, someone who's been here for a while, maybe Rob. He's pretty good at this kind of stuff. Will you tell Comics with Bealer the cover charge for tonight? Just go ahead and drop it in the chat. Good to have you all here. Thank you for joining us. Lady Deathstrike. Well, I mean, technically she was good before she was Lady Deathstrike, but our real introduction to her, no, I agree. She's bad. Yeah. Deathstroke. I mean, to me, that's one of those morphing characters where they didn't know what to make him or what. You give him so many great powers that you don't want to unleash him on all the good guys. You want to be able to see him do his worst work, and you can't see that unless he's fighting bad guys. So I think that's where Deathstroke's confusion comes from.
Yeah. Yep. They're good evil.
Yeah, so that's interesting. What do you think about this, Russ? John's saying, I feel like comic books out more women in these are. All right, let's clean up his terrible English, and we'll just basically what he's saying is that comic book women find themselves in these conundrums of being good or evil, such as Elektra, Catwoman, Mystique, and ETC, whom I'm not aware who eats. Whoa, look at that. We got our first super chat.
Bueller broke the streak.
Oh, you're too good to us. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Rob, for helping out with that. If you did anything, I appreciate it. Thank you, Bueller. That's, for the price of 2 cups of coffee, you two can support this fine program. If we get the price way up there, we'll knock Russ out and make it an open chat. Hey,
open the slots open to the highest bidder.
You gotta give the people what they want.
Oh man!
But what do you think about that, Russ? Do you think that the ladies get a little extra, waffling between their character sets?
I think so. I think it goes back to the popularity, which I kind of hate in a way. If a character gets too popular, they kind of feel like they have to flip them to a good side, or that always kind of bugged me a little bit. Like Scarlet Witch, for example, she started out in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and I'm not exactly sure what issues or what storyline they flipped her good, but that's a character that I wish had stayed a villain because of how powerful they made her in the comics. She just would have been a great villain to go up against on multiple occasions.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think that may be a key component, is that it's hard to see villains often enough if they're real popular. Like, how do you continuously see a villain? Because you can't put that villain in every story. They have to take a turn every now and then. I mean, you have to feel like when they get caught, there's some weight to it. Like they at least went to prison for long enough to get broke out again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're oversaturated. So yeah, you're right. There has to be some kind of. And also, you can't just relive the same plot over and over. There has to be something a little different. And let me tell you, it's not easy. Like Red Skull has been Captain America's nemesis since World War II, and this guy is still around. Still, he's been everything from a fascist to a nihilist to a corporate schemer. I mean, all kinds of different sort of personalities that he's had, of personas. And they have to evolve him, because otherwise, if that same Heil Hitler thing gets old, I guess. So they have to change it up here and there. So yeah, you're right. You even if it's a villain, you really have to be. They have to change a little bit of what they do or how they do it to make it interesting. Event, time after time.
Right. Well, and that's funny. Scott saying you can't relive the same script. What about Phoenix, Dark Phoenix? I mean, that goes on forever. You can't. I mean, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, that no one's had more deaths and resurrections and character redesigns and names and costumes than Jean Grey. I mean, she's just all over the board. They can't help it. They got to put her in something. I think that when you really need to look at some of these villains that turn good and base it against their popularity, one of the things that bothers me is that if you don't like it when they're good, doesn't that hurt their popularity a little bit? Like, I just don't prefer it. When Harley Quinn, I like Harley Quinn. Okay. I liked her a lot as a Joker henchman, right? Basically, or even a sidekick, if you will, because Batman has Robin and Joker has Harley. I like that. Yep. But once you start sending her off on her own, I feel like she's the kind of character that doesn't hold a title. Like she can't carry the book. She's just, to me, always looking for the Joker. Like her in every other panel, she should be saying, where's Mr. J? And if she's not, then that's not really the right character. She needs to move on. I don't know. It's hard for me on that one. And it's not just the ladies. I feel that way. Here's Sabertooth. We talked about it earlier, or someone mentioned. I think John might have mentioned.
Yeah, John's comments.
So Sabertooth, he was another one, pure evil. Liked seeing people suffer. Speaking of watching people suffer, Edwin, the comic jabroni, put on his best gag face today for all of YouTube to watch. About 20 minutes of eyes watering and regret. So if you ever want to watch a guy do that for a change, you've got Edwin, the comic jabroni, eating a spicy chip, and it looked painful.
I turned it off. I couldn't see him. I couldn't see him anymore. It was painful for me to see him that way. So I turned it off. I didn't see the end. I hope you're okay, Edwin.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh, it's rough.
Terrible.
It's rough. And it's a slow burn in the beginning, you can tell, and then it's just
this is a tough dude, okay?
What kind of ship was it?
This is a tough dude. If that did that to him, we have no shot.
Yeah. Like a super spicy pepper chip.
Oh.
No, it was worse than a ghost pepper. I forget what he called it.
Really?
The California reach around, I think it was called, which is always to be avoided at all costs.
Reaper, I think.
Is that what it was? The California reach around, wasn't it, Roger?
No. Carolina Reaper, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm not up on my hot peppers, so I could be wrong. But no, I was not a reach around.
Oh, okay.
Jalapeno's about the highest as I go.
Lord help me.
Sabertooth had a time when he was good. I don't really remember that. Yes. Well, when he was on X-Force. So they kind of, I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes I don't like it when they take definite villains, like evil villains, and they put them with heroes and they make them work on the same team. Like that never passes for me. I always feel like one should be beating the other up at any given moment. They shouldn't be able to work together. And Sabertooth works with Wolverine and the rest of the X-Force. I mean, Domino is really not a bad person. Was it War Hunt, or I forget that guy's name, but he's not bad. And then you got Sabertooth on there on essentially, yes, they're a mercenary team, but you would never want a crazy psychopathic evil person even on a mercenary team. Like, that's too much even for that. Yeah. And then at one point he leads the X-Force, which is really hard to watch. So, and Weapon X, I guess just to say, he leads Weapon X. So it's tough. I don't know. I don't like it how they did him. I prefer him just stay evil all the time, and anybody good should look to kill him. It's like there's no, there's no good bug, only a dead bug, or the only good bug is a dead bug, right?
Dead bug.
Starship Troopers. The only good bug is a dead bug, and that's how I feel about the most evil villains. Is the only way you can't reform them. The only thing you can hope to do is defeat them. So, prefer that.
Yeah, there was one other one that I just occurred to me, and that was Thanos. He started out. Starlin had him as a really really bad guy, obviously, who had an ultimate goal of destruction and so forth. And then he helped Warlock defeat the Magus. And I don't know if you guys have read that Warlock run from 9 to 12 or so back in the 70s.
I'm reading it now, and I'd appreciate you keeping it down.
Okay, I won't say anything more except that.
Don't talk at all. I'm trying to concentrate on reading this book right here.
he has a role in there which seemed contrary to his character. Let's just put it that way. But then things got revealed as to he had an ulterior motive. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, that kind of long range planning or slow burn kind of plot, I think is fine, because we're like, what? He's doing this, and then you find out the truth, right? We're not talking about that, right? Because that kind of underhandedness, I think, is vile. I mean, it's like quintessential villain stuff. That they're trying to change people's minds about them and then betray them.
Yeah.
Right. But villains that actually or purport to be doing maybe not good, but not as bad for a while with good guys, that just doesn't seem like it would ever work unless they had some kind of real experience that changed their perhaps they had a bad foundation to begin with, or a wrong foundation, and that was straightened out. But otherwise, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, when I see when I see stuff like John's trying to throw some shade on me now, that's not the case. That's not the case. I do like when they change characters, or when the characters go back and forth. For instance, I'll give you a couple of one each, which they're very similar in their origins, but one each. I like the Lizard. I think he's a perfect night and day kind of character. You have, is it Kurt? I want to say Kirk Cousins, but I don't think that's right.
Kurt Connors.
Kurt Connors, right? Sorry, I'm missing sports. So we got Kurt Connors.
Not Chuck Connors either.
Not Kurt Chuck Connors. No, the rifleman.
No rifleman.
No, so you got Kurt Connors there, and he's perfect. When he's a lizard, he's bad, but sometimes he's still a little bit, there's good in him somewhere. I like that. You can have both sides, and I don't mind if one day he's on a good team or a bad team. That's fine. Doesn't bother me. A lot of the heroes and villains, I think you can have them play along together for a while. It doesn't bother me, but the ones that personify evil, I don't like to see them switch to the good side. And the ones that personify pure goodness, I don't want to see them turn evil. So that's where I'm at, What you got there, Roger? What's that, a book? I didn't know you collected comics.
Yeah, I have a few here and there. Yeah, Russ does too. Yeah. By the way, I think the Scarlet Witch. I wanted to say something about Russ and the Scarlet. That's another character that has flip-flopped several times. Russ. I mean, in the Avengers, she was corrupted, and she essentially destroyed the Avengers by herself. Scarlet Witch.
Oh, Scarlet Witch. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And then through circumstances they Quicksilver. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but she came back to herself, and then Byrne got her in West Coast Avengers and really turned her just maliciously. I mean, just really terrible. She changed to a black costume, but again, Marvel said no. We can't use her that way. Like you said, Bub, there was no way that they could put her in enough, in the spotlight enough. So they flipped.
You can't give a series to a villain. You have to give them some sort of redeemable quality that people are going to root for, or they're just not going to tune in. Yeah. And they at least have to be at best misunderstood. You know, like another one I like, one of my favorite origin stories is Man-Bat, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Man-Bat, and he shows up with the intention of helping Batman. Like he's there to be a good guy. And yet, wrong place, wrong time, gets tired of not being accepted, and eventually turns. You know, jealousy, like you said, those key, you know, flaws that heroes don't have and villains do. You know, that's something to me too. I like that. So, but you could still put Man-Bat as a good guy every now and then, or a bad guy every now and then. I don't mind that because he's not pure evil.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've heard enough from John. I can't even read all that. Try and keep a look. If you want to do that, you got to put a $5 next to kids. John's with kids, $5 super chat. Man. Come on now. Come on, people. Dig a little.
Bub the snake oil salesman. I'm sorry. Well, you know, again, I essentially do agree with him, but only if the story dictates it, not a forced kind of thing. Like, you know, all of a sudden they've had years and years of, you know, evil behavior, and all of a sudden, oh, you know, they find out that they were, you know, an orphan, and all of a sudden now they're good. You know, some kind of fairly, you know, inane kind of factor turns them good. You know, that's not.
If their mom had the same name.
Yeah. Oh, right. Something like, yeah. Martha.
Yeah.
Martha. Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's Pope's making a good point to what you're speaking of. So here you have people who don't think that they're necessarily being bad at all. So if they think that they're good or they have the right intentions, you know, and you're talking about Thanos as well. Oh, good old Thanos. He thought he was doing the right thing, right? Well, at one point he's doing it for love. So I don't know about all that. He was
doing it for love, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a very demented and sad, you know, type of objective, you know, if you ask me. But he was convinced that it was the right thing to do, that the cost was worth it.
Yes.
I mean, he was trying to hook up with a lady named Death, so
yeah,
that should have
got to be a red flag right there.
Right. That's a good one, Russ. Yeah.
You're right about that.
Yeah, that sounds like a hot name right there. Yeah, I see a very short-term relationship. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And you know, people have been Punisher's been mentioned a few times in the chat already. I've never been a big Punisher fan myself. I think he's an interesting character. I like him in video games. You know, after that, I'm pretty much done.
How do you feel about the Dolph Lundgren movie?
I remember as a kid. See, Russ, you're too young to remember this. You're welcome. But
thank you.
You know, there was a time. there was a time when it didn't matter how bad the superhero movie was. We were just glad to have superhero movies. I didn't care. Yeah. Like, I didn't care. I mean, another Dolph Lundgren. Talk about Master of the Universe. There's another, you know, decidedly terrible movie. But, you know, you talk about Swamp Thing, the first two Swamp Thing movies. I didn't care. I was just so happy to see a character that I knew from comics on the big screen. It didn't matter how bad it was. I was just happy to see a guy dressed up in a swamp suit. That's it. You got my money. I'm paid in. I'm happy. And I'll rewatch it on HBO 10 times a day if you'll play it. That's how I felt about superhero movies. So that's how I felt about the Dolph Lundgren Punisher. It was great.
Yeah.
It was the only Punisher movie we had. How could it not be good, right? What was that? I really liked the Nick Fury movie. I forget what it was called.
Oh, with David Hasselhoff?
Yes, with David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, I saw that one, yeah.
I liked that when I was a kid. Why not?
Yeah.
What is there not to like?
Yeah, I thought that one wasn't that bad because he had the eye patch, he had the cigar, the gruff attitude. But man, I kind of disagree with you on this one. I mean, I'm a big fan of superheroes, but I could not digest that Swamp Thing movie. And the first Captain America movie, you know, where he's
the motorcycle helmet.
Yeah, with the Russ knows this. I'm a huge Cap fan. I'm massive, but I couldn't sit through that thing. I just could not. It was
that one's
so
that one's a little extra bad. But for instance, the old Spider-Man TV show, I can't believe how much hate that gets now. People say how terrible it was and how the guy was way too old to play the part and the suit was terrible. The webs were bad. Yeah. Man, as a kid, I know it wasn't on for long, but it had to have been my favorite show while it was on. I loved that show. Everything about it was awesome. I mean, whatever.
The only thing I didn't like about it is that he was only Spider-Man for like 5 minutes every episode. You know,
but man, those were the best 5 minutes of the episode.
Those were the best 5 minutes of my life right there. But
absolutely,
the other whatever was like, it was more dialogue, more hunting the crook. You know, yeah,
that's true. I mean, they weren't perfect, but man, they're all we had. And you know, people are so spoiled now. You got 50 superhero movies a year. You know, I would have taken like, you know, a direct to DVD, or back then direct to VHS wasn't even hardly around then. But you know, I mean, I would have taken that. That would have made me happy. You didn't even have to make me go to the theater to watch it. I'd watch it anywhere. That was great stuff.
Hey, we saw stuff like the Super Friends, and you know, that was not exactly high-end animation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the Wonder Mutt and the Super Twins, right? What are they called?
It's the
Dickie and Dorky or something? Wonder Mutt and the Dickie and Dorky twins?
Wonder Mutt?
Something
Wonder
like
Dog. Wonder Dog.
I think it was a mutt.
And Marvin and Wendy.
That's what I said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It's all right. Yeah, that's great, because like I remember seeing an episode of that, and it's hilarious, where they capture, I forgot who it is, Flash or Hawkman or something, right? And so they're going out to rescue him, and who's in the rescue party but Flash? You know, so it's like, is there a doppelganger? You know, like they didn't care. I mean, we didn't care. We didn't see those kind of issues back then. We don't care.
Didn't bother me at all. I always liked how they would put Flash and Aquaman together, and they would like put them in a submarine. I was like, what good is Flash in a submarine? Like, why is he piloting the submarine for the Super Friends? This makes no sense at all. Man, Aquaman's outside the submarine swimming. Like, this is stupid. You know? You know, whatever.
Oh man.
Still, when it's all you got, you know, you'll take it.
To a starving man, you know, a crumb is a feast.
Let me tell you something. So, it hits 3 o'clock in the morning and the bar's closing, and the only thing you got to curl up and with some popcorn is Dolph Lundgren and a Punisher t-shirt. I think some of you guys would change your mind.
Perspective, people.
That's all I'm saying. Beggars can't be choosers.
I've seen the movie, but I honestly don't remember too much about it now, because it's
very forgettable.
Years.
Yeah. Russ, that is probably
I remember like the only scene that I can remember is there was some kind of big fight in a dojo where he fought a bunch of like ninja dudes with samurai swords, and he just like gunned them down.
Oh well, that's hey, you remember more than I do. So I saw that way back when, and I'll say I don't remember a thing, except I think he had a motorcycle. I think I remember.
Yeah, he kind of had like a Terminator look.
Yeah, so that kind of tells you that it wasn't exactly, you know, highbrow entertainment.
Oh,
I remember one time feeling completely ripped off at the movies. My older brother took me to see a movie called The Avengers. And I thought I was going to see, you know, the Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
As a little kid, I thought this was awesome. And we got to the theater and watched it, and it was like 2 British spies or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I said, what the crap is this?
that was John Steed and Emma Peel.
Yeah. I felt completely ripped off and lied to.
I like that movie.
Yeah,
I probably would if I saw it now, but back then I was like, Who are these people that were the Avengers?
Who was that? Ralph Fiennes and who was the lady?
I think it's Rafe. Rafel Feynman. He's a nice Jewish boy from Brooklyn.
It's been a long time. But yeah, I can see, Russ, where you would be disappointed, because of the kind of like, you expected, Marvel's Avengers. You always gotta look at the previews, just to make sure that it's what you want, because you can be tricked, and they do that all the time. I remember.
Oh yeah.
They would use little tidbits that sort of suck you in. Like when He-Man was big, they would have like lookalikes, Beastmaster or whatever, and it's like, this is not He-Man,
I remembered liking Beastmaster when I was a kid.
I just brought that up as off the cuff.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But I agree. Now they're talking about Ray Stevens. Now, we've gotten a little off topic, but not too far. We're still in the anti-hero vein all of a sudden.
Anti-hero vein.
Yeah. I've never been a big anti-hero guy. I like heroes and villains, and the ones that cross the line to me are villains. Like, you know what I mean? You can't, if you're killing people, even because you think it's the right reasons, but you didn't put them through the justice system, then you're just a murderer. So,
well, that is what the law says. That's true. That if you kill it, you're not. Well, we know that now after seeing everything that's going on. You can't.
If Matt Murdock can't convict, the Punisher steps in.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
The Punisher. If you take, that's why you have the separation of powers in the government and everything. So you're not judge, jury, and executioner. You have separate aspects to make sure that justice prevails. And I said that in my video that Punisher, although his goal may be something which is helpful, shall we say, getting rid of crime and criminals and so forth, that the methods he uses are just not something that we can consider a viable way of doing things. It's just gunning somebody down because you think, or you have heard, or you have some evidence that they are criminals. And some crimes are not punishable by death. That's just the way.
Yeah, that's true. Go a little too far there,
Yeah, I mean, like drug dealers. I mean, yeah, it's reprehensible, and they corrupt, obviously a lot of people and destroy their lives. But as far as I know, I don't think there's a drug offense, other than perhaps forcefully giving somebody drugs that kill them or something. That's a capital offense. So.
Yeah, I agree.
But Punisher, if he saw a drug deal, you're dead. Your history, you're smoke.
It sounds like Roger's giving his resume for the League of Villains over here. Everyone's like, "Oh, is that what it takes, huh?" Oh man, we've got some people in the chat just dropping in. We're glad you're here, but don't expect to stay long. We got Z Collects showed up. Mastodon's here still.
Hey, Antonio, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good to have you. We got Chunky Monkey Comics. It sounds like a Ben and Jerry's flavor. I'm down.
I love that name. That is really stuff. Cool. It just like flows off the tongue. Chunky Monkey.
Nothing
it's
wrong
like
with that.
Flavor of ice cream or something, isn't it? Like chunky.
Yes, I hope. Yes, Beastmaster is so bad, it's so good. I like that. And somebody was talking about Sheena. Yes, that's why I liked Beastmaster. She wore the same outfit in both, I think. So good stuff.
Was it the same actress?
I think so.
Was it Barry Benson? Is that her
no?
No.
I can't think of her name.
I can't think of her. Yeah. I can sort of picture her, but
I can definitely picture her.
I'm sure you can. I'm absolutely sure you can. I have no doubts whatsoever.
Hold on, I'm picturing her. Yeah.
I mean, a lady in loincloths. That's a Bub's alley for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I think that she gets nude in that movie too, in the Sheena movie. Pretty sure there's a scene in there. It may be, and when I say pretty sure, I'm sure. So
I got it cataloged and timestamped.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Russ is a good point. You have the CD and it's timestamped to that point.
No, I'm old school. I took a VHS and cut all the other tape out. I just put it on
wow.
rewind, auto rewind, and auto play.
Now you have it on infinite loop, I'm sure. Knowing you. Oh man.
Tanya Roberts, that's who it was.
Tanya Roberts, that's right.
Sheena is no Xena. I'm glad. I thought Sheena was way hotter than Xena. I never really Xena didn't do anything for me. But
I had a huge crush on Xena back in the 90s.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
I never met her.
Oh, hey, you missed your opportunity. What are you talking
her
about?
Her loss.
All right, she's nude and Beastmaster, not Sheena. All right, we're getting this all worked out. Thank you.
Hold on a second. These people know that. Come
this
on.
Just in. All of a sudden Sheena's going to be Tanya Roberts is going to be all over your Google searches now for about a week, you guys. Everybody's Googling nude Tanya Roberts, nude Sheena.
I mean, Jimmy has some major knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. That and Edwin's ghost pepper eating is going to be the talk of the town all day tomorrow.
Wow.
Good stuff, guys.
Wow.
Speaking, did I get my Queen Sonia book? Nope, I didn't end up picking up any Queen Sonia. I didn't. Hey, Russ, you submitted Queen Sonia, didn't you? As your choice?
Yeah.
I don't do the redheads if I can avoid it.
How can you not like redheads, man?
I've been hurt before, Russ.
It's trauma. It's prior trauma.
It's trauma.
Yeah.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. Yeah, just like I don't think Edwin's ever going to eat a fire chip again.
No,
I'm there too.
So. I don't think so. I think that's one of those experiences you do once and you're just lucky you survive it,
Yeah.
And
you're talking about redheads?
No.
Oh.
I hopefully you survive that.
Live stream investigator.
That's live stream. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Cool.
I mean, not all of the 40-year-old virgins. Some of them, maybe, but surely not all of them. There's got to be some other place.
We talking the Steve Carell movie?
Yeah, I think so. Although it's funny, some of those, like, every now and then, something will happen in my life of collecting because this is all fairly new for me. Last maybe 3 to 4 years is when I just kind of gave in and started having a whole room full of comic stuff. And you know what I mean? And when that happens, then I've rewatched the 40-year-old virgin since then. And I'm like, yeah, that would not be good, because if it weren't for my wife, this stuff would have reached out into the entire house. Like, because there would be no reason to just keep it all in one room, right? It would be like in the bathroom, the bedroom, the living room, the kitchen. Like, it would just be all over the house. And I don't know how appealing that would be for a woman to come over and see that. At one point in that movie, they're like, you got to get rid of this stuff because she's going to think you're crazy.
Sell everything.
Yeah, get rid of all of it, or you'll never have a woman. So I'm kind of lucky that the woman came first, and then this whole, life of collecting came afterwards. So
I guess you're saying I'm pretty much doomed.
And not for this reason. I mean,
for many other reasons.
Burn it all down, Russ. Let's tear it all down.
It's over.
You guys are too much, man.
Oh, man. We're having a good time, Raj. I tell you, though, it is getting late. We should probably get close to calling it quits. Let's see. Hey, I agree. Not everybody will be doing the same stuff all the time. That's definitely true. And I'm not. Oh goodness gracious, you guys are terrible. We got to get out of this chat, Roger. They're the later you go, the freaks come out at night, as Edgar Winters used to say. We got to get out of here.
Well, you are the prime instigator here, so
me.
Look at a mirror.
Me?
Yeah, you're the one who said that thing about redheads and so forth. You're making, blanket statements based on physical characteristics.
I could not struggle to find someone more innocent than myself.
Well, you're not trying very hard then.
I'm shocked. I don't know where this is coming from. I'm just completely bumfuzzled.
Puzzled. Well, I'm glad you caught it too, Chunky Monkey, because laughter takes a lot. Is a cure for a lot of different issues.
Oh yeah.
So you need to laugh. It's very important.
Yeah. Check this one. I found this one today. Look.
Whoa!
I can watch that. The Hulk throwing a bear. I can watch that for hours. That
look
and this.
Look at the arc. Look at the arc of that. Look at the arc that he's throwing it, and then look at the arc of that.
If there was a YouTube channel that did nothing but show these two clips on loop, I think I would subscribe and check in often.
Hey Perry, get on that YouTube channel, man.
Yeah, Perry, I want to see you react to the Hulk throwing a bear.
Oh man!
All right, everybody, we should hop off here. We got people in our daily lives to annoy. I love it.
Yeah. We've wasted about an hour and 20 minutes of these people's lives, and I think that is plenty. Plenty.
You guys are great,
and Russ as well. He suffered with us here. He suffered the indignation of being on the No Faces chat.
Have you not ever seen Russ's Instagram feed? It's nothing but indignations upon indignations, capitalized by the indignant.
Listen, hey.
I know. I posted one video and Bub said that was one strike, two more, and I was getting blocked.
I think you were shirtless.
The shirtless one, yeah.
I didn't know what was going on.
For an Instagram tag.
I don't know. It looked like some sort of woodchuck that had been through a scientific experiment. But still, notice the shaved on half his body. It was horrible, I tell you.
I noticed the justification though. I didn't come up with that. It was an Instagram tag. Like it's compulsory.
Yeah.
You know.
What did you
to be fair, that video was already on TikTok, and then the tag came, and then I posted it to Instagram.
So you just posted it. So that's a previous version of Russ in that video.
Yeah.
Not good.
I can repost it and tag you if you want, Bubs.
That'd be 2 strikes. Go right ahead.
No, okay.
Man.
You show a picture of your dinner and you've got the trifecta. You're out.
Yeah.
Well, I think Russ just got an A-OK from Lindsay.
Oh, nice.
And I think that I heard rumors. You know how rumors are? They're vicious, right?
Oh, yeah.
I heard that he's going to recreate that in real life. So,
for Lindsay?
Yeah. No, not for Lindsay. But for what the everybody go see Russ's video about what he got. All right. And then I've heard rumors now, and this is just rumors. I'm substantiated. We have Russ the Man right here. That he's gonna imitate that. He's gonna recreate that in real life. So let's see if that's the case.
Well, I for one am terrified.
Well, I gotta get a cape first. I gotta wait on the cape to come in from eBay.
You got a cake coming in from eBay? Oh,
goodness
gracious. Oh, a cape from eBay.
Cape.
Hey, you got to be careful.
Have to order one of those.
Those Chinese sizes don't usually fit the same. It might be a dinner napkin wrapped around a scrunchie or something. You got to watch that. Yeah. All right, guys. What do you say we call it quits for the night? Let everybody go home and be with their loved ones. I know right now I just imagine everyone sitting around at a bar and there's a big screen on. Everybody's watching the No Faces comic chat, having a brew, relaxing in good camaraderie. And now it's time. It's closing time. And you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So we'll let you all we'll let you all go.
Bub's Comics, sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's right. Get your game on and your wing sticky. I think that's what they say for your sticky wangs. Man. Sticky wangs. All right, guys. Well, we'll catch you all next time. Roger, do you want to bless everybody and tell them where to go with themselves?
You have a way of making the most benign things seem, just off the wall crazy. You know that? I'm sure I can't
explain that again. I'm starting to see your points.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. Oh my gosh. All right, everybody. I'm just gonna calm down. I'm gonna lower my heart rate past 1,000 beats per minute, and say, everybody, be blessed and be back next week for another crazy, off the wall, wacky, and who knows what insanity No Faces chat.
There you go. We'll take that. Russ, you don't have a significant sign off, do you?
No, not really. I usually just say peace, guys. Catch you in the next one.
Hey, that's pretty good. I like that.
That's all right.
And we got look who showed up to say hello to everybody. Or goodbye to everybody.
Matt.
Matt, the boy who had 7. There you go. Well, we're glad you could make it. All right.
He's a busy man. He's a busy man.
Yep. We'll catch you next time on Bub's Comics. Remember, No Faces Comic Chat every Monday night, except when I get too lazy to book a guest. And then I think Roger, all in favor of Roger booking next week's guest and coming up with a topic, say aye. By that, I mean a $10 donation to the super chat, and majority wins. So you better we got 20-something people.
We got one eye.
It's got to be at least 11. That'd be $1,100.
We got one eye. You got one eye by Matt. That's it.
You don't get a vote. You weren't here all night. Be a carpetbagger. Go back home.
Thank you. Let's see what are they doing here? They're making your life a little more difficult. Good going, guys. Good going.
As always. All right, guys. We'll catch you next time on Bub's Comics. Remember, read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Bye-bye.